Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Noisy Sauce here, here with another video. Welcome. If you haven't seen one of these before, I've done quite a few of these. This time it's going to be a little bit different. So I hope you're in for something a bit new. I don't have a type beat that I'm going to make today. I don't really have any influences. Is record a custom sample of this guy, which I'm going to turn into an instrument like live and then make a beat out of it. So screw it, let's get started. I've got a separate thing open because a separate project open right now because I want to record this at a higher sample rate than I normally record at, so that when I slow the sample down, it can hit those lower sample rates without degrading the quality of the sound that I'm actually making. So I'm just going to get straight into recording this sample, and then we're going to edit it and put it into an instrument. Here we go. That didn't work. Oh, here we go. All right, as you know, I recorded that quite a few times because I wanted to get the perfect couple of samples. I think the last two are going to be the best ones, but we'll go back through and have a listen to those and make sure I'm not missing some gems in there. So I'm going to take that off record, unmute it, and just going to have a listen through those samples I made now. Oh, shit. Oh, it's got a good wobble to it. It's a nice sound. That one I hit the pop filter, so it was a bit dodgy. That's a good one. That's a good one. And that's a good one. All right, so I was right. The last two ones are the ones I'm going to end up using. So I'm just going to go straight up and delete the rest. I try not to get too invested in like listening to these over and over again. I know what I'm looking for. So yeah, those two are the ones I want. So what I'm going to do is duplicate that file, which is just making another audio file. I'm going to cut each sample right up to the start of it so that we don't get any weight or noise in there. I'm going to increase the size of the waveform so I can really see what I'm doing here. Do the same with this one. Drag that right up to the start. So it's a nice clean sample. And finally, I'm going to cut off any noise at the end. So I'm just going to check and see how. So about here, I want to cut it. It's not going to go that long. And a nice fade out at the end. I'm going to do the same with the other one. Cut, although I'm going to drag this one down and move it together. Drag that to the same length. And just going to make both of the fades exactly the same, and then I'm just going to add a quick fade at the front. Actually, I'm going to make that fade a little bit longer. And oh shit, turns out I did not move them to the exact same spot. That sucks. Jump in there and have a look. Make sure we get to this right spot here. For some reason this is not snapping as well as I'd hoped it would. Let's go snap to the bar there, snap to the bar. Oh my god. Snap to the bar. There we go. Ah, absolute value, that's why. All right, here we go. Now we're cooking. All right, so now we'll put that back in smart. And do the same thing, just delete a little bit more. Put a bit more of a fade. And then zoom in on this side. And we're just going to put a slight fade at the very start of the sample. And that's still good. I like that. All right. Now, I'm going to hard pan each of these samples, one left, one right. So now we're going to, like, you won't be able to hear this because you guys are listening in mono, but now we're going to get a bit more of a stereo sample. It's not going to be really wide, but at least it's not going to be dead down the center like a, like, I don't know, standard boring sample. Next thing I'm going to do is throw a limiter on it. And that's going to get rid of that very first portion of the waveform. I'm just going to throw this on a repeat for that first. Oh shit. I'm going to have to actually put these in a track stack first. I'm going to make a summing folder, and then I'm going to put a limiter on it. Limiter, L2 stereo, and oh. And that just gets rid of that, like, really attacky start to the that sound. And I'm also going to add a EQ. And that's just getting rid of the thud that comes in at the very start of that sample. I might put that above the limiter and see how that sounds. It might sound different. These are the little things I like to experiment with. I think I like that better, actually. because that's getting rid of the that low end thud before the limiter hits it. So it's yeah, a bit nicer. Now I'm going to hold this glass bell and take the length of it. Done that. And what's the like this and bounce in place. That's what I want to do. So I don't know why that did not work the way that I wanted it to. So I'm just going to instead set the input of this to bus. Oh, that's the input of this to bus 2, and the output of this one to bus 2, and hit record. Cool. Cool. And make sure that that is yeah, perfect. All right, so that's the sound we want there. That's going to be my sample, recorded beautifully. I'm happy with that, how that turned out. So I'm going to now bounce this guy, or we'll export it as an audio file. And I'm just going to save that where I normally save all my sample bank stuff. And it's been so long since I've done this, I've forgotten how I did it. Thinking custom, yeah, custom, and I'm going to call this glass. Get rid of that. Call it glass jar, glass bell, we'll call it. And export. Cool. Now that that's done, I'm going to close that and open up my standard template for writing music. First thing I want to do is make sure that my project settings are back to what they should be. So I'm going to check that. Yep, they're at 44.1, not 96 anymore, like what the sample was. And now I'm going to bring that sample in. Going to use the standard Logic sampler. Spell. Going to edit. And it's been a while since I've done this one. I got to find my file there. Stand by. Custom. Last spell. Ah, shit. One thing I forgot to do while I was doing this. Key C3. No. All right. You got to pitch your stuff, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. So I'm just going to find a metering tuner. All right, I can see that it's A, a little bit like 20 cents above A on the tuner. So I'm going to use the A is going to be the main pitch there, and then I'm going to take the fine tuner and bring it down about 20 cents. Maybe 18 cents. And that sits around an A, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you can hear that. That's so cool. That's my instrument. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is bump up my release on that channel so that this is where it gets fun, because you get to like take that sound and like take it to the extremes and like hear how cool it sounds. I'm just in that release down a little. Actually, I'm going to turn the release up a little bit. I like it. Pretty cool sound. I do want to save that as last spell. Now I kind of just want to add some effects to it. So I'm going to put a delay, extra delay on it. and have it quite low in the mix. And put a bit of a ping pong on there. Bit of delay, and we're going to throw a bunch of reverb on there. From the Lustrous Plates collection from Liquid Sonics. Kind of like that. That's a cool bit of rhythm there. Beat. Sorry, I just got to take a little bit of time to save this thing because I have forgotten that part of it. And if any of you are wondering how I name my my tracks, I literally just take names of characters from Game of Thrones because there are so many characters out there that I can pretty much never run out of names. So that's cool. When I do, I'll probably go to a different series, maybe Lord of the Rings or something. Save. Cool. So this one's called Podrick, in case you're wondering. All right, so this one's sitting at 99 BPM. I should just make it 100, shouldn't I? Makes it easy. All right, I'm just going to record that riff in there. Missed up the first note. All right, that's cool. Now I'm just going to quantize that to one thing I want to do is kind of take off a little bit of the start of the I just took off a little bit of the attack at the very start so we don't get that really harsh click. You notice that I use my finger to tap the glass rather than like my nail. So I really didn't want that harsh like attack on it. And you'll notice that when you sample things, attack comes through so much and you end up having to take a lot off. I mean, I took off some with the EQ, I took off some with that limiter, and now I'm even taking it off with the attack of the instrument itself. That is a huge sound. You probably can't tell quite how intense it is, but it's a really cool, like massive sound. Managed to get there just by my own horn for a little bit. I'm going to double that. I kind of want to have a second one, and I'm going to change this up a little bit, but I'm going to drop the So I just added the same thing and took the delay off, turned the release right down, and lowered the level of the reverb just a bit, but used the same reverb. And that's an octave down from what the original one is. And that's just adding a bit of body, a bit of attack down the bottom there. And I've also pushed it so that that attack, pushed the attack of it back down so that it's got that like bit more percussive hit to it. And that kind of adds a bit more of a low-end element to it that will be cool when you take it away, is what I'm thinking there. Finally, I'm going to add to this bus channel, which is going to be the bus channel for both the bells. I'm just going to put a compressor in there, and this is going to kind of act as a bit of glue for the two bells running together. And I'm going to use the API 2500 from Waves. Cool compressor for drum. Actually, I don't know if I want to use that. Might try something a bit different. Yeah, maybe I'm going to try something different. I'm going to use for this one the where is it? V comp, which I haven't used in ages, but this is a pretty cool gluey old school style compressor. Just kind of pumped it up a little bit, glued the two sounds together, and made it kind of nice. All right, so now I'm going to get rid of a few of those other tones from the synth channel that I know I'm not going to really get to use. And now I'm going to throw some drums in on this. Oh yeah. Just going to open up all these channels, make sure they're working well. All right. Pretty simple snare, one that I use quite a bit on stuff. I'll throw a clap in there as well. Cool. And I'm going to quantize those so that they're not horrendously out of sync with each other. And I am now wanting to kind of give these a bit of a different sound. So I'm going to throw a Slate virtual mix bus on it. I'm going to pull out a lot of the top end. Managed to screw up the time quite a bit on that one, so I'm just going to change that to 8th notes. Yeah. Put a bit of vibe in there in the form of tube saturation. So I'm going to go London. I don't know and then I'm going to throw on a distressor at the end to bring back some of that attack. Cool. Now I'm I'm just going to throw a bit of reverb in there. Didn't like that one. I'm going to try something similar. All right, I'm just going to that one. I've forgotten the melody. All right, we're going to pull that back. That is hectic. Screw this up. All right, I'm going to throw this as a mini rather than the instrument is, which is pretty much the exact same instrument as I was just using then, but I'm going to have a bit more control over it. So I'm going to pull back the decay time quite a bit. Actually, instead of playing this in, I'm just going to draw it from the kick that we've already got. C4. All right. Let me turn this down a bit because this is resonating my room real hectic. kind of figured out a melody that I kind of want there, so I'm just going to try it now. With this kick, I'm going to put some distortion on it. Straight up one knob driver, my favorite distortion. And that's just going to take away all the low end and give it like a real knocky quality, mid-rangey knocky quality that's going to mean that it doesn't interfere with the 808 and kind of like makes the 808 a little bit, I don't know, it complements it a bit more. Oh shit, I didn't even know I got some messages. Oh, thanks Eamon Hill for the no, it's not gonna then. Yeah. No, sorry. I mean, just if you read the YouTube stuff, they're not deleting anything with cuss words or anything. You just have to make sure that if you have child-friendly stuff, that you put it to child-friendly, and if you don't have child-friendly stuff, you make sure it's not selected as child-friendly, because if you have stuff that you say is child-friendly and or made for children and you've got cuss words or any kind of bad stuff in it, they're going to delete your channel. So, or not delete, they won't even delete your channel, they'll just delete your videos, but I don't think they're getting rid of anything with cuss words in it. That is filthy low. I like that. All right, that's cool. I like that. Let's have a listen to the mix. All right, that is sick. That sounds awesome. So now we're just gonna throw some hats in here. So I'm gonna start with some tuned hats, real trappy like, and we'll see what else we want to put in here. I love me some trappy hats, so I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with this sound, but I'm going to change it a little bit. Just going to shorten it a bit. So it's a bit more easy to digest, I guess. I'm going to go to my 30-second notes. Oh, that's a bit much. Okay, let's shorten that. I'm going to find a shaker loop. Whoa, that's hectic. All right, that's the one I want. So I'm going to throw that shaker loop in there. And I'm just going to throw it in there. Loop it. Huh. Whoa, that is way out of time. Why is that? Go. One thing I want to do with the with that tuned trap hat that I've got going there is run it through a tremolo, which is going to make it jump side to side, and have that going at about a 2-bar loop at about 70%. And I also want to throw, I know there's a lot of cymbals, but I like cymbals. That's cool. I'm going to rip out some of the high end on this guy because it's a little bit too bright for me. Oh. Just add a little bit of reverb to the high end of the kick drum so it sounds a bit vibey. And I just want to add one more thing to the mix on this one. Thinking about a bit of an organ. Ooh, that's loud and bright in your face. That's a cool organ melody. I'm just going to mess with the sound a little bit with that because it's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit bright still. So I'm just going to throw a filter on that. Oh. And change the what's it got? Oh, it's got a few things. It's got a couple of choruses, rotary speaker, room reverb. All right, so we're going to get rid of the reverb that's on the organ already. We're going to throw in a delay, just an H delay, ping pong. So it'll be stereo delay. Do the same kind of vibe that I normally do with it. Maybe jump up the modulation a slight bit. And turn down the mix. Throw more reverb on it because I always want more reverb. I'm going to go with the Abbey Roads plate here. Just a huge sounding reverb. Always use it. Sick. One thing I just want to do before I move on is instead of doing the repeat on the shaker, I'm just going to copy paste it 4 times and then join all those 4 together so that I get one continuous shaker sound. All right. I've got all the sounds I want now. I'm going to start arranging this into something a little bit more meaningful. So I'm going to start by having an intro, which is just going to be the original glass bell sound by itself. No, not the shaker. I'll go to the lower glass bell from the second half. Spaceman. This is sounding really cool. I like this beat. One thing I got to add is my riser, which I'm going to chuck in for the choruses. Don't judge me, I use the same riser all the time because it sounds so good. God. Come on. Come down in the mix a bit. It's a little bit too loud there. Sounds so good. All right, I'm just going to throw that at the start of each chorus, as is tradition. And I'm also going to throw in my beat tag now. See how that sounds. Sauce on that beat, bitch. I'm just going to delete any of the channels that I'm not using. And it's going to take a little bit of time. It's got to load them up as I delete them. And just finally going to do a little bit of a master on the chorusy section, make sure everything's kind of leveling out right, and I'll just do a final little mix. That is it. That is the finish of that beat. I'm happy with how that's turned out. That is ready to be wrapped on. It sounds good. I think it sounds good. The EQs are sounding good. Everything's kind of layered quite well. So I'm just going to do one more playthrough before I finish this up. For the Facebook recording, I'm going to take the phone and show exactly what I've been doing so you can get a vibe of that. Get a close-up of all the plugins and stuff. get a final listen of the whole thing, and yeah, hope you enjoy it. If you guys want to buy this beat, it is called Podrick. Turn around. And it is going to be up on my BeatStars page in about a month's time. If you want it before that, if you want to hit me up, if you love the beat and can't wait that long, just let me know and I will hook you up. So yeah, one more playthrough. I'm just going to show you the plugins, how I'm using them. If you have any questions, definitely hit me up because I will answer anything. All right, here we go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you dug it. I'm going to be making more of these all the time, so hit me up follow my page, like my stuff, and if you want to buy some of these beats, definitely do it because it keeps me in business. All right, guys, catch you next time.